Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 191 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now, today, I wanted to talk about friends in wrestling. How many people have you become friends with because of wrestling? I know when I was in high school, not a lot of people liked wrestling, so as soon as I found out someone did, they were automatically one of my best friends. Now, when it comes to being in the wrestling business, being a part of the brotherhood, sisterhood, um, when you're putting people's lives in each other's hands, or your life in each other's hands, you get a bond. Now, when you're doing regular shows for like a same promotion, and you see the same guys over and over, you begin kind of like a friendship or like a family with them. But I noticed all too often that when things move on and changes happen, or you start working for a different promotion and then you get this other group of guys, or like you're at a wrestling school with a group of guys or something like that, you get involved with cliques, and that happens, and then times change, and then you get involved with other cliques. But I want to know, how many people would you consider your true friends in the wrestling business? Someone that you would invite to your wedding, someone that would be a godfather to your or a godmother to your children, those kind of things. Like for me, I have a lot of acquaintances. I like to think people like me, but who knows? Maybe they're just being polite because they might have to work me down the road. Like it's just so hard because wrestlers are the biggest gossipers of all, and then also we all like to think high of ourselves, which we should. We should have confidence. So therefore, you want to be polite to people too, because you want them to like you. But how much of it is phony, and how much of it is fake, or how much of it is just what's the word I'm looking for? Being like politically correct, or like just you have to be around these people, so it's like a coworker, so you just want to get along. And how many people would you consider your enemies in wrestling? Because I don't know about that, but for me, I would like to think I have about 3 to 5 close friends in wrestling that I actually consider friends, that I would actually talk to if it wasn't just about wrestling, although we always end up talking about wrestling. And I don't want to say their names in case they don't feel the same way about me. Then I would be pretty embarrassed because I thought they were my good friend and they weren't. So that's the thing about it. You never know. The people you consider close, they might not consider you as close. They could just be putting on a game. And then also someone that you might not think likes you may actually really like you and think you're a really good person. So I'd like to think I have 3 to 5, because like when I took a year or two off from wrestling, there was still a couple people that stayed in touch. And every time I get injured, there's still the core group of people that stay in touch. But like as I look throughout my career, like when I first started in the wrestling school, like we lived and trained and did everything together, and like we had a special bond. And now even as certain people come out of the woodworks and I reconnect with them, it's like 15, 16 years never left. Like we just talk like we just saw each other the other day, and I really appreciate that. But like, do you really consider them friends? Like, would you really tell them a lot about your personal life and whatnot? Like, I don't know. Like for me on Facebook, I have Elian Habanero Facebook, which is just my wrestling. But then I have a Facebook that's just for my family and close family and friends, and that's where all the pictures of the cameraman are and stuff like that. So, sure, you could know my wrestling personality, but there's not too many people out there that I would want to know my personal life, that I know I could trust. Especially someone could seem fine and they were good, and then 15 years later, how do you know they're not a nutcase? But luckily for me, the people that I've reconnected with throughout the past, or from the past, have turned out to be the same people they were before. Most people don't change. Most people just get better or worse. No, not a lot of people can actually change. They can just improve themselves, but most people are who they are, and it's the way they were born, and that's the way they will always be. Yes, they can get better, they can get worse. But I want to know, like, what does the wrestlers think? How many, you don't have to say names, how many true friends do you really think you have in a wrestling business? Like, if you broke your neck tomorrow, I mean, obviously I would not want that to happen, and you had to quit wrestling, 5 years from now, how many of those people would you still be in contact with? How many people do you go on social media and you put a post that has nothing to do with wrestling, and it has something to do with, oh, look at this funny picture, or here's me and my kid, and the people like it. 5 years from now, how many of those same people would like it? Are they liking it now because they know that you might be on a show together, or that you might be wrestling them? Those kind of things. Like, so these are the kind of things I wonder about. Yes, that's right. My brain never stops. I can barely sleep. I go through every single thing. Everything is a big detail to me. I'm an emotional person. What could I say? So I think about that kind of stuff once in a while, especially like when I'm down and out, or I have an injury or stuff like that, and it's like, oh, everyone forgets about me. And then even the fans, like half of my fans don't even have social media, or maybe they do and they have no idea I'm on there. And then when I come back, they're like, oh, I'm so happy to see you, I'm so happy to see you. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought you guys forgot about me. So I really want to know, to the wrestlers, how many true friends do you think that you have in the wrestling business? And to the fans, how many people are you friends with because of wrestling? That is the question I posed on today's Willu Show. And remember, always on the Willu Show, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!